What's something foodies everywhere have in common? An obsession with street food. Get ready, this is gonna blow your mind. From the bustling markets of Bangkok to the lively corners of Mexico City, street food is where flavor gets real. Picture this: sizzling woks tossing pad thai in Thailand, the sharp sizzle of kebabs turning over open flames in Istanbul, and the rainbow of spices topping chaat in India. Watch those skillful hands, chopping, flipping, and wrapping at lightning speed. Every vendor has a secret trick or spice passed down through generations, turning simple ingredients into pure magic. And let's talk colors: fiery reds, bright greens, golden browns. Every bite is a feast for the eyes and your appetite. Whether it's crunchy tacos, fluffy bao, or crispy crepes, these quick bites are all about bold flavors and big smiles. So next time you travel, skip the fancy restaurants. Head to the nearest street vendor and taste the true heart of a city. Hungry yet?
Why do less than 5% of travelers seek out Africa's cultural villages? Because the world's most authentic treasures are often the hardest to reach. Ready to find them? Picture this: endless red earth stretching into the horizon, dotted with thatched huts and ancient traditions. Among the Himba of Namibia, ochre-stained skin and intricate hairstyles tell stories older than memory. In Kenya, Maasai warriors leap skyward, their bright shukas painting the plains in living color. Every village pulses with rituals, laughter, and a rhythm untouched by modern rush. Here, every moment is sacred: shared meals, dance, and the wisdom of elders under a canopy of stars. These aren't just places, they're living stories. So if you crave more than postcards, pack your curiosity and discover the world's soul in its quietest corners. The adventure, it's just beginning.
Exposing the hidden beauty in Africa's cultural heartlands. Forget the usual tourist routes. This is where tradition still breathes. Are you ready to meet the real keepers of heritage? Far from the crowds and safari jeeps, there are villages where time moves at its own rhythm. The Himba, in Namibia's sweeping red deserts, use ochre and butterfat to paint their stories across skin and hair. In Kenya, the Maasai leap to the skies in vibrant beads, celebrating rituals passed down for centuries. These are not museum pieces, they're living, breathing cultures, holding tight to traditions while the world races by. Here, every sunrise glows over untouched plains, and laughter rings out around fires beneath endless stars. Small moments, like sharing a meal or learning a few words, become the memories you'll treasure most. So will you take the road less traveled? Africa's hidden villages are waiting, and they just might change the way you see the world.
Imagine dragons, direwolves, and the Iron Throne, now all made of blocks. Welcome to Minecraft's wildest crossover yet. Across the blocky lands of Westeros, legends are forged in fire and ice. Castles rise high above pixelated forests. Armies of knights and creepers march beneath banners of House Stark and House Lannister. Watch as a mighty Minecraft dragon soars above Winterfell, breathing fire that lights up the night. Heroes like Jon Snow swing swords made of diamond, while Arya sneaks through shadowy corridors. Her next move a mystery. The White Walkers, still chilling. But now, they're scarier and squarer than ever. The battle for the Iron Throne is on, and every throne is built one block at a time. Will fire conquer ice, or will winter win again? In this world, anything can be built, and anyone can rule. Winter is here, and it's more blocky than ever. Welcome to Game of Thrones Minecraft style.
Have you ever wished you could just fall right into another world? I know I have. And if you're an anime fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those jaw-dropping, heart-stopping isekai landscapes that make reality feel, well, just a little bit boring. Let's take a quick journey together. Imagine waking up in a lush green field, sunlight filtering through clouds that look more like brushstrokes than weather. Or standing on the edge of a floating island, wind whipping around you with a sky so blue it almost hurts to look at. These worlds aren't just painted, they're alive. Rivers shimmer like glass. Forests are thick with ancient trees and glowing spirits. Mountains stretch up, impossibly high, dusted with snow that sparkles like a million tiny stars. And then there's the cities. Towers that reach for the heavens. Castles perched on cliffs, their stained glass windows catching the light. Even the smallest village feels magical. Cobblestone streets, hidden gardens, lanterns glowing softly as night falls.
But the real magic? It's not the dragons or the portals, it's the feeling these places give you. A sense of wonder, of possibility. Every detail invites you to dream just a little bigger. Maybe you're picturing the wild fields of ReZero, the endless skies of No Game No Life, or the gentle forests in Mushoku Tensei. Each world is a masterpiece, blending art and imagination into something that feels real, even if you only get to visit for a few episodes at a time. So next time you find yourself staring at a screen, lost in the glow of an isekai landscape, remember, you're not just watching a show. You're exploring a whole new world. And who knows, maybe one day you'll wake up somewhere just as stunning.
Alright, picture this. You're gliding through crystal clear waters, sunlight rippling above, and suddenly, an entire city bursts into view, glowing beneath the waves. Welcome to Atlantis, the legendary lost city. Now forget gloomy ruins, this Atlantis is alive. Towering spires shimmer with bioluminescent light, casting a soft magical glow over everything. Imagine wide plazas paved with pearlescent stones, and coral arches so grand they could only exist in dreams. Schools of neon-colored fish dart between columns, weaving through statues so ancient they look like they've been watching the ocean for centuries. Let's zoom out, sweeping across the glowing metropolis. There's a massive domed palace right at the city's heart, its walls swirling with light like the inside of an opal. Around it, graceful bridges connect floating gardens, lush with seaweed trees and glimmering flowers that wave with the current. Atlantis isn't just beautiful, it's alive with energy. Imagine Atlanteans with iridescent scales and flowing robes, drifting through market stalls where treasures from every corner of the ocean are traded. Shells that hum, pearls that glow, and ancient coins stamped with forgotten symbols. Look up. The city's shielded by a giant shimmering dome, holding out the crushing sea, but letting in the sun's golden rays. Statues of mythical beasts guard the gates, sea serpents, winged hippocamps, even giant turtles carved from jade. Take a moment. Listen to the lull of seahorse-drawn chariots, the distant song of whales, and the hum of Atlantean technology. Mysterious orbs floating everywhere, lighting the way and powering the city. Atlantis is the ultimate blend of myth and imagination. It's not just a city, it's a living story, waiting for explorers like you to dive in. So next time you stare at the ocean, remember, there might just be a glowing metropolis waiting for you beneath the waves. Who knows? Maybe Atlantis isn't lost at all.
In northern Thailand near the Myanmar border lies the Doi Nang Non mountain range, home to the Tam Luang Nang Non cave. This cave is beautiful but dangerous, especially during the monsoon season when sudden floods can trap anyone inside. On June 23, 2018, 12 boys from the Wild Boars football team and their coach entered the cave for a quick adventure after practice. They left their bikes and bags at the entrance, planning to be inside for just an hour. The cave was familiar to some, and they felt safe. They passed a warning sign about monsoon dangers, but it was still June. They thought they had time. As they explored deeper, heavy rain began to fall outside, much earlier than expected. Water rushed into the cave, quickly flooding the tunnels behind them. The path back vanished, blocked by a wall of muddy water. The wild boars were trapped deep inside the earth, with no way out. The cave's beauty had turned into a deadly trap. The boys and their coach huddled together, unaware of the ordeal ahead. Outside, the sky darkened and rain poured down, sealing their fate. Their adventure had become a fight for survival. The world would soon learn of their disappearance. But for now, they waited in darkness, hoping for rescue. The nightmare had just begun. The boys tried to retrace their steps, but the tunnels were now underwater, impossible to cross. Their torches barely lit the pitch-black cave as panic set in. With no food and little water, they found a small ledge above the rising flood and waited. Coach Ekapol, a former monk, taught the boys to meditate, helping them stay calm and conserve energy. Outside, worried parents found the boys' bikes at the cave entrance and alerted authorities. Park rangers and police arrived, but the floodwaters were too strong for any rescue attempt. News of the missing team spread quickly. Thai Navy SEALs joined the effort, but cave diving in muddy, narrow tunnels was a new and dangerous challenge. Divers faced zero visibility and powerful currents. Days passed with no sign of the boys. The rescue teams struggled to make progress. The world watched as hope faded. Inside, the boys clung to each other, not knowing if help would come. The cave was silent except for dripping water and their quiet prayers. Every hour, the danger grew. The outside world mobilized, but time was running out. The wild boar's fate hung in the balance. The rescue had to succeed. Failure was unthinkable. The race against the monsoon had begun. The crisis drew global attention. The Thai government called for international help, and experts from around the world answered. Cave divers from the UK, Australia, the US, and beyond brought specialized skills and equipment. Engineers and volunteers worked around the clock, pumping millions of liters of water from the cave. The mountain acted like a sponge. Water kept flowing in as fast as it was pumped out. Teams searched for alternate entrances, drilling into the rock, desperate for a breakthrough. Inside, divers navigated treacherous narrow passages, laying guide ropes and risking their lives. After 9 days, British divers Rick Stanton and John Valanthan made a breakthrough. They surfaced in a small air pocket and found the boys and their coach, alive. "How many of you?" asked John. 13, a boy replied. The world rejoiced. The wild boars had been found. But the hardest part was still ahead, getting them out. The cave was still flooded and the boys were weak. The rescue would be even more dangerous than the search. The international team prepared for the most difficult mission of all. Every second counted. The world held its breath. The real test was about to begin. Finding the boys was only the start. They were trapped 4 kilometers inside, unable to swim or dive. Waiting for the monsoon to end was not an option. Oxygen was running low. The rescue plan was unprecedented. Each boy would be sedated, fitted with a full-face mask, and guided out by divers. The risk was enormous. One mistake could be fatal. Tragedy struck when Thai Navy SEAL Salman Kunan died placing air tanks, a stark reminder of the danger. On July 8th, the rescue began. Divers moved each boy through flooded tunnels, passing them from one team to the next. The operation took 3 days. One by one, all 12 boys and their coach emerged alive. The world celebrated their survival. The rescue showed the power of teamwork and courage. People from many nations had come together for a single goal. The Tam Luang Cave rescue became a symbol of hope. Against all odds, the impossible had been achieved. The wild boars were safe. Humanity had triumphed in the darkness. Have you ever wondered what really goes on inside a car factory? Most people only see the finished product, sleek, shiny cars rolling down the street. But behind every vehicle, there's a world of engineering, teamwork, and high-tech machinery that brings it all together. It might surprise you, but every car starts as a massive pile of parts. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of components stacked and waiting to be transformed. Let's take a walk through the entire process. From the tiniest nuts and bolts to the moment a brand new engine roars to life for the first time. Imagine this. I'm standing right on the factory floor, surrounded by the hum of machines and the buzz of activity. The air is filled with the scent of metal and oil, and everywhere you look there's something happening. Our first stop is the body shop. Here, giant robotic arms move with incredible precision, welding metal panels together. Sparks fly in every direction, lighting up the space like a fireworks show. I reach out and check the frame. It's solid, heavy, and built to last. This skeleton will soon become the backbone of the car. Skilled workers and inspectors double-check every weld, making sure the frame is perfectly aligned and safe. Next, I head over to the paint shop where things get colorful. The car frame glides smoothly along a conveyor belt. Robotic sprayers move in perfect harmony, coating the body in layer after layer of flawless paint. It's mesmerizing to watch. The smell of fresh paint fills the air and the car's color comes to life, gleaming under the factory lights. The painted frame then travels through a giant oven, baking the finish to a hard, glossy shine that will last for years. Now it's time for the assembly line. This is where the real magic happens. I grab the dashboard and snap it into place, making sure every connection is tight and secure. Nearby, a robot swings over and carefully drops the seats into position, locking them down with a satisfying click. Human hands and machines work side by side. Workers like me add the wiring, steering wheel, and windows, each step requiring focus and precision to make sure everything fits perfectly. The engine, the heart of the car, rolls up next on its own conveyor. Using a powerful crane, I carefully lower the engine into the bay. It's a perfect fit, and you can feel the excitement building as the car comes together. Next up, the tires. I bolt them on, one by one, making sure each lug nut is tight. The car is almost ready to roll. Now it's time to test the electronics, lights, radio, horn, and dashboard displays. Everything needs to work perfectly before the car can leave the factory. After a final round of checks, a splash of fuel, and a quick startup, the car rolls off the assembly line for the very first time. It's a proud moment for everyone involved. From a mountain of parts to a finished, road-ready ride, that's the journey of every car built in a factory like this. So, after seeing all the steps, Would you want to try building a car yourself? Let me know in the comments.
Legends tell of fire-breathing dragons, but the real monster walks among us in Indonesia. Deep in the scattered islands, the Komodo dragon reigns, a living relic, the largest and heaviest lizard on Earth. Imagine a creature 10 feet long, armored in bony plates, with a cold, calculating stare. Its 60 serrated teeth are built for tearing flesh, always sharp, always ready. This is no fairy tale. It's a walking fortress, a true apex predator. Its forked tongue tastes the air for prey, and though it doesn't breathe fire, its venomous bite is just as deadly. The Komodo dragon is the closest thing we have to a mythical monster, a living link to a prehistoric world. It stalks its volcanic home with ancient power, commanding respect and fear. This is the last dragon on Earth, a real-life legend that thrives in the modern day. Its presence is a reminder that some legends are real. The Komodo dragon is nature's ultimate survivor. The Komodo dragon's kingdom is a handful of volcanic islands in Indonesia: Komodo, Rinca, Flores, and Gili Motang. These sun-scorched savannas and rugged hills are a lost world, shaping the dragon into a formidable hunter. Here, it's the undisputed king. No rivals, no challengers. Island gigantism let it grow massive, hunting everything from wild boar to water buffalo. The entire ecosystem revolves around this apex predator. Every creature lives in its shadow. The dragons bask in the morning sun, then retreat to shade or burrows to survive the heat. Once dismissed as folklore, their existence shocked scientists in the 20th century. Today, these islands are a protected sanctuary, preserving the last dragon's rule. The Komodo dragon is a master of ambush, relying on patience and stealth. It waits motionless along game trails, camouflaged as just another rock or log. When prey approaches, it explodes into action, deceptively fast, striking with brutal force. One devastating bite is all it needs. Its serrated teeth rip deep, then it lets go. The wounded animal flees, but the dragon's true weapon is already at work. Calmly, it follows the scent of blood, using its forked tongue to track its prey for miles. The dragon knows it doesn't need to hurry. Its venom will finish the job. This patient, relentless strategy makes it a perfect predator. It's not just strength, but intelligence and efficiency that make the Komodo dragon deadly. In the wild, nothing escapes the dragon's calculated hunt. Scientists once blamed bacteria for the Komodo dragon's deadly bite, but the truth is more terrifying. It's venomous. Venom glands in its jaw deliver toxins that prevent blood clotting and drop blood pressure, sending prey into shock. The victim weakens rapidly, unable to escape or fight back. This venom, combined with armored scales and raw power, makes the Komodo dragon unstoppable. Even a 1,000-pound water buffalo can fall to a single bite. The dragon's hunting success is a masterpiece of evolution, efficient, lethal, and unrivaled. It's a real-life dragon, ruling its volcanic islands with ancient authority. The Komodo dragon proves that reality can be more incredible and more terrifying than legend. It is truly the last dragon on Earth.
Once upon a time, in the peaceful Valley of Peace, lived a panda cub named Po. He was big, round, and covered in soft black and white fur, living with his father, Mr. Ping, a kind goose who ran a cozy noodle shop. Their home always smelled of soup and spices, and Po's days were filled with warmth and laughter. Sometimes Po wondered why he didn't look like his dad, but their love made every difference disappear. Mornings meant breakfast, special dumplings from Mr. Ping and gentle pats on the head. Po tried to help in the shop, but his clumsy paws often spilled noodles. Mr. Ping would just laugh. "Spilled noodles mean the floor gets a tasty treat too." The villagers adored Po, waving as he passed by, and he loved them back with his big heart. Life was simple and sweet, but Po's eyes often wandered to the Jade Palace high on the mountain. He felt a tingle of curiosity and adventure, a feeling he didn't quite understand. Even in the comfort of his home, Po sensed there was more to the world than noodles and soup. He dreamed of something beyond the valley, though he didn't know what. The love in their small home was bigger than any palace, but Po's imagination was even bigger. He was different, and deep down he wondered if that difference meant he was meant for something more. Every day, as the sun rose and the village bustled, Po's sense of wonder quietly grew. He didn't know it yet, but his story was just beginning. The Valley of Peace was calm, but Po's heart was restless.
He was a little panda in a big world, ready for adventure. And soon, adventure would find him. Mr. Ping's noodle shop was the heart of their life, bustling, warm, and always full of delicious smells. Po helped his father, wiping tables and taking orders, even if his round tummy sometimes knocked things over. Mr. Ping taught Po the secret to perfect noodles. It's not just flour and water, it's love. They worked side by side, a goose and a panda, a perfect team. Between customers, Mr. Ping shared stories of their noodle-making ancestors, dreaming Po would one day take over the shop. Po loved his father deeply, finding comfort in his hugs and gentle words. Their love was steady, like a warm bowl of soup on a cold day. Mr. Ping wanted Po to be a noodle master, but he noticed Po's eyes light up for kung fu, not dough. He saw Po's longing for adventure, and though he didn't fully understand, he accepted it. Their relationship was built on love and acceptance, even when dreams didn't match. Po's happiness always came first for Mr. Ping. The noodle shop was more than a business. It was a place where love was served daily. Even as Po dreamed of something more, he knew he was cherished. Their bond was unbreakable, no matter where Po's dreams might lead. In every bowl of noodles, there was a little bit of hope for the future. And in every smile, a promise that love would always be waiting at home. The noodle shop was their world, but Po's heart was ready to explore beyond it. Po's heart belonged to Kung Fu. He idolized the Furious Five, tigress, monkey, mantis, viper, and crane, and collected their action figures. At night, he dreamed of fighting alongside his heroes, strong and brave. In a village of shopkeepers, Po dreamed of being a warrior, feeling like he didn't quite belong. His friends played simple games, but Po wanted adventure. He longed to soar like crane and strike like mantis. This secret passion burned inside him, a fire he kept hidden. He feared others would laugh. A clumsy panda as a kung fu master, Po was the only panda in the valley, a constant reminder of his uniqueness. Sometimes it made him feel special, other times, lonely. So he poured his feelings into kung fu, imagining himself as the dragon warrior. In his dreams, he was powerful, respected, and heroic. These fantasies were his escape, his hope, and his secret strength. He wasn't just Po, the noodle maker's son. He was a hero in his own mind. This dream gave him purpose, even if he kept it hidden. And though he felt alone, his imagination made him unstoppable. Po couldn't keep his kung fu dreams inside. In secret, he trained in the alley behind the shop, copying moves from his action figures, often with clumsy, hilarious results. Every mundane task became a heroic quest in his imagination. Bowls were shields, ladles were swords, and mopping the floor was a battle against a water demon. These daydreams filled his life with excitement and helped him build confidence, even when he felt out of place. Alone, Po was quietly shaping himself into someone brave, determined, and ready for adventure. Po's gentle nature was as legendary as his appetite. He shared cookies with friends, helped younger kids, and welcomed newcomers with a basket of noodles. Food was joy, comfort, and a way to connect. Mr. Ping understood. Making food was his love language, and Po's happiness was his reward. Po's kindness and love for food were deeply connected. He found happiness in simple pleasures and wanted to share it. He sensed when others were sad and cheered them up with snacks and a listening ear. The villagers respected Po's big heart, knowing his compassion was his true strength. His inner goodness was his hidden power, even if he didn't see it yet. Every moment of Po's childhood was shaping him into a hero. Carrying trays and balancing bowls built his strength and agility, even if he didn't realize it. His love for kung fu taught him perseverance, and his daydreams were practice for real courage. Mr. Ping's love gave him a strong foundation of kindness and loyalty. Even his appetite played a role. His motivation would one day become his greatest asset. Po's supposed weaknesses were becoming his strengths, the secret recipe for a future dragon warrior. The clumsy, food-loving panda was gathering all the ingredients for greatness. As Po grew, whispers of destiny echoed through the valley. Prophecies spoke of a dragon warrior, but Po never imagined it could be him. He continued serving noodles, dreaming in secret, unaware that fate was about to call. The grand tournament to choose the Dragon Warrior was announced, and Poe's excitement soared. He thought he'd be a spectator, not the main event. But his childhood had prepared him for this moment. His kindness, passion, and resilience were the pieces of a hero. He was not the hero anyone expected, but he was the one the valley needed. Poe, the panda with a big heart and bigger dreams, was about to step onto the path of destiny. The journey was just beginning, and the Dragon Warrior was ready even if he was the last to know. Adventure was waiting, and Poe was finally ready to answer its call.
Every adventure begins with a single step, a decision to explore beyond the familiar. It starts with packing your bags and anticipating the unknown. Out your door, into the bustling airport, a place of reunions and farewells, and toward the unknown, a new chapter waiting to be written. The air crackles with the energy of countless journeys about to begin. The airport buzzes with anticipation, a symphony of rolling suitcases and excited chatter. Travelers united by the thrill of discovery, each with their own story and destination. You settle into your seat, engines humming with latent power, ready to propel you across continents. The world outside shrinking as the plane lifts off, leaving behind the everyday. Through the window, city grids, once so familiar, and highways become a miniature map, a testament to human connection and exploration. Routine left far below, replaced by the promise of new experiences. Freedom takes hold as you soar above continents, a sense of boundless possibility filling the cabin. Suspended between time zones and dreams, anticipation building with every mile. Hours pass in a quiet, dark cabin, a peaceful interlude before the adventure truly begins. Until a soft glow signals dawn over Europe, painting the sky with the colors of a new day. The sky shifts from black to violet, a breathtaking spectacle unfolding outside your window. Then orange and pink, a vibrant canvas heralding your arrival. As land appears below, a patchwork of fields and forests coming into focus. The coast comes into view, a dramatic meeting of land and sea. Green cliffs meeting blue sea, a stunning vista that welcomes you to a new continent, a new world welcoming you, promising untold adventures and unforgettable memories. The descent sharpens every detail, bringing the landscape into sharper focus. Waves, winding roads, red-roofed villages, a charming tapestry of European life. Excitement builds as the city approaches, a vibrant hub of culture and history. The plane banking for a sweeping view, offering a final glimpse of the breathtaking scenery. Wheels touch down, applause ripples through the cabin, a collective sigh of relief and anticipation. And you realize you've arrived ready to immerse yourself in a new culture. The journey is just beginning, a chance to explore, learn, and create lasting memories. Welcome to Europe. Europe's landscapes are a breathtaking mosaic, a tapestry woven with threads of diverse beauty. From the rugged coastlines to the serene countryside, the continent offers a visual feast for every traveler. One day, you're nestled in a charming Swiss village, breathing in the crisp, clean air, surrounded by snow-capped Alps that tower majestically above. The gentle echo of cowbells fills the air, and glacial streams rush down the mountainsides, and the towering mountains beckon, inviting you to explore their hidden trails and discover their secrets. Soon after, you might find yourself basking on a sun-drenched Mediterranean beach, feeling the warm sand between your toes, gazing at the turquoise water, and hearing the joyful laughter carried on the gentle breeze. Life slows to a tranquil rhythm, dictated by the ebb and flow of the waves and the warmth of the sun. Further inland, the rolling hills of Tuscany unfold, and the picturesque Loire Valley stretches out before you, adorned with lush vineyards and vibrant sunflower fields, all dotted with charming ancient farmhouses that whisper tales of generations past. Roads wind lazily through the golden fields, with every turn revealing a scene so beautiful it could have been lifted straight from a painting. Stand in awe atop Ireland's majestic cliffs of Moher, or lose yourself in the breathtaking beauty as you gaze into the depths of Norway's stunning fjords, experiencing the raw, untamed beauty that defines the continent's edge. Each unique landscape whispers its own captivating story, offering a sense of wonder and discovery at every single stop along the way. Europe's natural canvas is incredibly vast and diverse, inviting you on an unforgettable journey to explore its seemingly endless variety and hidden gems. From the majestic alpine peaks to the sun-kissed Mediterranean shores, every single view is a breathtaking panorama, destined to be etched in your memory forever. The adventure, the exploration, the discovery, it all continues. There's a unique freedom, a sense of unbound exploration in driving Europe's open roads. The possibilities stretch out before you as endless as the horizon. Imagine winding through the majestic Dolomites, each turn revealing new vistas, breathtaking panoramas that etch themselves into your memory, valleys carpeted in wildflowers during the spring, and peaks piercing the sky with their jagged beauty. The road itself is a marvel of engineering, a ribbon of asphalt clinging to the mountainside, leading you to places both wild and serene, where nature reigns supreme. Cruise Croatia's stunning coast, ancient towns steeped in history on one side, their stone walls whispering tales of centuries past, the shimmering turquoise Adriatic on the other. Stop for a refreshing swim in the crystal-clear waters, a leisurely seaside lunch, savoring the flavors of the Mediterranean, or simply to take in the breathtaking view, letting the salty breeze invigorate your senses. The journey becomes the destination itself, a tapestry of experiences woven together, guided by curiosity and the open road, not a rigid schedule. Picturesque medieval villages appear seemingly out of nowhere, cobblestone lanes winding through the heart of them, charming half-timbered houses lining the streets, and timeless squares, where life unfolds at a slower, more deliberate pace. Driving lets you discover authentic Europe, experiencing its hidden gems and local flavors at your own pace. These roads connect sun-baked Spain, with its vibrant culture and passionate spirit, to misty Scotland, a land of rugged beauty and ancient legends, rolling vineyards to dense, enchanting forests. On Europe's diverse roads, getting a little lost, taking an unexpected detour, is often part of the magic, leading to serendipitous discoveries. Every mile is a new story waiting to unfold, a new adventure just around the bend. Europe is a living museum where history surrounds you at every turn. Stand before a hilltop castle, its towers echoing with centuries of stories. Wander through Cotswold villages or Greek island alleys, charm and tranquility in every stone. Sit at a cafe, watch life unfold, and feel time slow down. Then, the icons, the Colosseum's ancient grandeur, the Eiffel Towers romance the Acropolis' wisdom. These landmarks are more than sights, they're symbols of creativity and resilience. Each building, bridge and ruin tells a chapter of Europe's story. Walking these paths, you step through time itself. Here, the past is always present, enriching every moment. Europe's spirit lives in its castles, villages, and timeless icons. The journey through history is unforgettable. As your journey ends, you find yourself in a great European city at sunset. From a hilltop or balcony, you watch golden light transform the skyline. Rooftops and spires become silhouettes against a masterpiece sky. The river glows, city lights flicker on, and the evening hum begins. The city shifts, romantic, mysterious, alive with possibility. You reflect on the memories made, grateful for every sight and sound. This sunset is more than an ending. It's a promise of more adventures to come. Europe's beauty lingers, calling you back for another journey. Until next time, the spirit of discovery remains. Farewell for now.
The village lay silent under a blanket of snow. Ilara, wrapped in furs, stood by her horse, Frost, ready to leave. The elders watched, worry etched on their faces. No one had ever ventured out alone, but Ilara's eyes were steady. She was determined to prove courage was not just for men. She mounted Frost, glancing back at her home one last time. Smoke curled from chimneys. Her heart ached, but her resolve was stronger. She urged Frost forward, leaving the safety of the village for the unknown tundra. The cold bit at her, but she pressed on, guided by a fire within. Legends of heroes echoed in her mind. She would become one herself. The journey was more than a hunt. It was a quest to change her destiny. Ilara disappeared into the white wilderness, her story just beginning. The tundra stretched before her, vast and unforgiving. But she rode on, determined to inspire generations to come. Days blurred into a relentless frozen march. The wind howled, snow stinging Ilara's face, but she pressed on. At night, she and Frost huddled by a small fire, surrounded by darkness. One night, wolves circled her camp, eyes glowing in the shadows. Ilara stood tall, hand on her sword, meeting the Alpha's gaze, unafraid. The wolves melted away, recognizing her strength. A blizzard struck, forcing Ilara and Frost to shelter in a cave for days. The cold seeped in, but they endured, sharing warmth and resolve. In the darkness, Ilara remembered her purpose. The great bear, a legend and a threat. Each trial, wolves, storm, isolation, hardened her spirit. The tundra tested her, but she would not break. She emerged from the cave, more determined than ever. Her journey continued, the legend of the great bear drawing her onward. The blizzard passed, revealing a world of sparkling snow. Ilara climbed higher into the mountains, searching for signs of the great bear. She found massive tracks and claw-marked trees, proof the legend was real. She prepared her weapons and her mind, recalling her village and their hopes. The elders had spoken of a beast haunting the northern passes, a threat to all. Ilara saw this as her chance to bring hope, not just safety. True leadership, she knew, meant facing darkness for others. Fresh tracks appeared. Her moment had come. She left Frost behind, sword in hand, following the trail in silence. Every hardship had led her here. Ilara was ready to face her destiny. She moved forward, a warrior on the edge of legend. The tracks ended in a snowy clearing. There stood the great bear, immense and majestic. It roared, challenging her. Ilara stood her ground, sword raised. The battle was fierce. The bear's strength was overwhelming, but Ilara was swift and clever. She dodged, waited, and struck when the moment came. At last, the bear fell. Silence returned. Ilara honored the beast with an ancient ritual, taking its heart as a symbol of courage. The journey home felt different. She was no longer just a hunter. The village gathered as she returned, awe in their eyes. She held up the bear's heart. The old traditions fell away. The people saw a true leader chosen for strength, courage, and love. Ilara, the bear hunter, became their queen. She ruled with wisdom and bravery, her legend inspiring all. And so a new story began, one of hope and a queen with the heart of a warrior.
Wes Anderson is a filmmaker unlike any other. His movies are instantly recognizable, kind of like a painting from a famous artist. They're filled with these symmetrical shots, where everything is perfectly balanced on screen. He just loves using bright, specific color palettes, making each scene look almost like a carefully arranged photograph from a forgotten time. Anderson's worlds feel both real and imaginary at the same time, blending nostalgia and pure fantasy. His characters are often quirky, sad, and funny, living in these highly stylized environments that are just as important as the characters themselves. This unique visual language is central to his storytelling, creating a cinematic signature that's impossible to mistake for anyone else's work. This distinct style isn't just about camera angles or color choices, it's built from the ground up, quite literally. Anderson is a director who really adores tangible, handmade things. He prefers physical objects over digital effects, and that choice gives his films a unique texture and warmth. This love for the practical is most evident in his extensive use of miniatures. These aren't just small props. They're entire buildings, vehicles, and landscapes built on a small scale with incredible detail. From the cross-section of a submarine in the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou to the sprawling Alpine Hotel in the Grand Budapest Hotel, miniatures are kind of the secret ingredient that makes his whimsical worlds feel so wonderfully and strangely real. The decision to use miniatures is a deliberate artistic choice. In an age where computer-generated imagery can create anything imaginable, Anderson steps back. He chooses the path of the artisan, the model maker, the painter. This approach connects his filmmaking to an older tradition of cinema, one where special effects were crafted by hand. It gives his movies a sense of charm and imperfection that CGI often just can't match. The slight flicker of a light in a model building or the visible texture of a painted backdrop reminds the audience that what they're seeing was built by human hands, which fosters a deeper connection to the story being told on screen. This dedication to practical effects creates a consistent aesthetic across his filmography. Whether he's working in live action or stop-motion animation like Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs, the underlying principle stays the same. The world must feel crafted and intentional. The miniature sets in his stop-motion films are, of course, the entire universe for the characters. But when he blends miniatures with live action, he creates this fascinating visual dialogue. The audience is invited into a world that's part reality, part storybook. a place where the lines are blurred in the most delightful way, all thanks to the magic of thinking small to create something big. So, what exactly are miniatures? In filmmaking, they're highly detailed, small-scale models of larger objects or locations. You can think of them as incredibly sophisticated dollhouses or model train sets, but built for the specific needs of a movie camera. Filmmakers have used them for decades, long before computers became a common tool. They were used to create epic cityscapes, blow up spaceships in science fiction classics, or sink massive ocean liners without getting anyone wet. Miniatures are a classic tool of cinematic illusion, designed to be filmed in a way that makes them appear life-sized and completely real to the audience, a testament to the ingenuity of early filmmakers. Filmmakers turned to miniatures for several key reasons, both artistic and practical. Artistically, miniatures possess a tangible quality that digital creations can really struggle to replicate. The way light interacts with a real physical model, reflecting off a tiny painted window, or casting a soft shadow on a miniature brick wall, has a unique authenticity. This physical presence adds a layer of believability and texture to the film's world. On a practical level, building a miniature can sometimes be more cost-effective and controllable than building a full-size set or creating a complex digital environment from scratch. It allows the director to have complete control over every single detail of the environment. The process of creating these small wonders is an art form in itself. It begins with meticulous planning and design, often involving detailed sketches and blueprints, just like real architecture. A team of skilled artisans then gets to work, using a wide variety of materials like wood, plastic, metal, and plaster. They painstakingly craft every element, from tiny door handles to individual roof shingles. The models are then painted and weathered to look old, used, or exposed to the elements. This aging process is crucial for making the miniature look convincing on camera, adding the subtle imperfections that sell the illusion of reality and history. When it comes to filming, miniatures require a special kind of magic. Cinematographers use specific techniques to trick the viewer's eye. They often use high-speed cameras to film the models, and when the footage is played back at normal speed, it gives the miniature a sense of weight and scale. That's why explosions in old movies look so grand. The lighting has to be carefully scaled down to match the model, and the camera's perspective is precisely controlled to maintain the illusion. It's a delicate dance between the model makers and the camera crew, all working together to transform a small object on a soundstage into a breathtaking part of a cinematic world. In an era dominated by CGI, Wes Anderson's commitment to miniatures is a bold statement. He chooses these handmade models not because he's old-fashioned, but because they perfectly serve his unique storytelling style. For Anderson, the visible artifice of a miniature isn't a flaw to be hidden, but a feature to be celebrated. He wants the audience to be aware on some level that they're watching a constructed reality, a storybook brought to life. This self-awareness is a key part of his charm. The slight unreality of a miniature hotel or a model train chugging through a painted landscape actually enhances the whimsical, fable-like quality of his narratives, drawing you deeper into his invented world. A perfect example is the majestic pink hotel in the Grand Budapest Hotel. While some interior shots used a real repurposed building, the breathtaking exterior shots of the hotel perched on a mountaintop were achieved with a stunningly detailed miniature. The model, which stood about 9 feet tall and 14 feet long, was a masterpiece of craftsmanship. It allowed Anderson to create impossible camera moves, like the sweeping aerial shots that established the hotel's grandeur and isolation. A CGI version might have looked more realistic, but it would have lacked the handcrafted soul and storybook charm that the physical model provided, which was essential for the film's nostalgic tone. Similarly, in The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, Anderson presents the research vessel, the Belafonte, through a fantastic cross-section miniature. Instead of using CGI to show the inside of the submarine, he had a massive model built with one side cut away, revealing all the different rooms and the characters within them. The camera then dollies alongside the model, taking the audience on a guided tour of the ship. This technique is wonderfully theatrical, kind of like looking into a giant dollhouse. It efficiently introduces the setting and the entire crew in a single memorable shot. This physical approach creates a tangible connection between the audience and the film's central location, making the ship itself a character. Even in his stop-motion films, the philosophy is the same. In Fantastic Mr. Fox, every blade of grass, every clod of dirt, and every cozy underground burrow was a miniature handcrafted element. The textures of the characters' fur, the fabric of their tiny clothes, and the miniature food on their tables all contribute to a rich, tactile world. Anderson's choice to use miniatures over slick CGI is about control and texture. He can personally oversee the creation of every tiny detail, ensuring that the final image on screen perfectly matches his vision. This hands-on approach is what makes his films feel so personal, coherent, and utterly unforgettable. The reason Wes Anderson's movies look so special and memorable is deeply tied to this love for the miniature. His films feel like they belong in their own unique universe, one that operates by its own set of physical and aesthetic laws. The miniatures are the building blocks of that universe. They create a consistent visual language that is both charmingly artificial and emotionally resonant. When you watch one of his films, you're not just watching a story, you're being invited into a meticulously curated world. This world has a texture, a weight, and a history that feels earned because you can sense the human effort that went into building it. The detailed craftsmanship is what really sells the illusion. The model makers who work on Anderson's films are masters of their trade. They spend countless hours painting tiny bricks, adding miniature furniture to hotel rooms, or applying fake snow to a model landscape. In the Grand Budapest Hotel, the team even created a tiny functional funicular railway to run up and down the miniature mountain. These details, even if they're only on screen for a few seconds, add up to create a powerful cumulative effect. They lend a sense of authenticity and care to the film, signaling to the audience that every single frame has been thoughtfully composed. This dedication to a handmade aesthetic provides a welcome contrast to the often sterile perfection of modern blockbusters. While CGI can create flawless and spectacular images, it can sometimes lack a sense of soul. Anderson's miniatures, with their subtle imperfections and tangible reality, feel different. They feel warmer, more intimate, and more human. They remind us that movies are a form of magic, but a magic that's made by real people in a real workshop. This connection to the physical craft of filmmaking is a huge part of what makes his work so beloved by fans and critics alike. In the end, miniatures are more than just a special effect for Wes Anderson. They're a fundamental part of his storytelling language. They're the perfect tool for building his quirky, nostalgic.
Silence now meant absence, not peace. The family's routines had been brutally broken. Who wore the fedora? Whose spectacles lay broken? Where was the woman of the pearls, the child of the tricycle? The clues pointed to robbery, struggle, and loss. The metallic scent throughout the house hinted at a truth too grim to name. The story was incomplete, its protagonists missing, their fates unknown. The house on Malabar Hill kept its secret, the final question unspoken. Only the silence remained, haunting and unresolved.
The air inside the factory hung thick and sweet, a strange yet tantalizing mix of molten chocolate and ionized air from the Death Star's ventilation system. A small, diverse group of tourists, a know-it-all kid from Coruscant, a perpetually worried bureaucrat from Alderaan, his gum-chewing daughter, and a simple moisture farmer from Tatooine, stood nervously before a towering obsidian-black gate. It hissed open, not with the cheerful clang of Wonka's factory, but with the ominous sigh of a Star Destroyer's blast doors. Out of the swirling, artificially generated fog strode the master of this establishment, his silhouette unmistakable against the factory's dramatic deep purple backlighting. "Welcome!" his voice boomed, a familiar mechanized baritone that sent a shiver down their spines. "I have been expecting you. The force is strong with your sweet tooth. Do not underestimate the power of the dark chocolate." He gestured grandly with a gloved hand, his black cape sweeping the floor. Darth Vader, for it was he, stood before them, not just as a Sith Lord, but as a confectioner extraordinaire. His factory was a marvel of 1970s Panavision aesthetics, a place where stark, brutalist architecture met a kaleidoscope of vibrant, almost psychedelic colours. The main hall was a cavernous space, with stark grey walls illuminated by beams of dramatic crimson and electric blue light, casting long, menacing shadows. Instead of a whimsical river, a slow-moving river of dark, glossy chocolate flowed through the centre of the room, bubbling ominously. Strange, spindly droids, looking like rejected early models of C-3PO, scurried about, their metallic limbs clanking as they polished the already gleaming chrome pipes that crisscrossed the ceiling like a complex transport network on a busy city planet. The entire scene was captured with the kind of wide-angle lens that made everything feel both vast and claustrophobic at the same time. "You find my establishment impressive," Vader stated, more a command than a question. He led them along the riverbank, his heavy rhythmic breathing setting a strange, almost meditative pace for the tour. This is no ordinary chocolate. It is infused with midi-chlorians, sourced from the finest cocoa beans in the outer rim. Each bite brings you closer to the dark side of flavor. The bureaucrat from Alderaan, a nervous man named Bale, wiped his brow with a handkerchief. Midi-chlorians? Is that even legal? Vader paused and slowly turned his helmeted head towards him. The silence stretched, filled only by the bubbling of the chocolate. "I am altering the recipe," Vader declared flatly. "Pray I don't alter it any further." Bale swallowed hard and nodded, deciding it was best not to question the host's culinary practices from that point onwards. The group followed Vader deeper into the factory, the sounds of unseen machinery humming around them. The know-it-all kid, a precocious boy named Kip, pointed at a group of Ugnaughts stirring a massive vat with large paddles. "Aren't those the same guys from Cloud City? What are they doing here?" he asked, his voice echoing slightly. Vader didn't miss a beat. "Their loyalty to my vision is commendable. They understand the importance of a perfectly tempered chocolate. Unlike some, they do not lack faith." He glanced pointedly at the group. "Now come along. The tour has only just begun. There is much to see, and I assure you the surprises I have in store are fully operational. Do try not to get lost or disintegrated. The insurance paperwork is a nightmare." Their first stop was a room that was both chilling and strangely appetizing. The chamber was bathed in a cold blue light, with steam hissing from vents in the floor, mimicking the iconic carbon freezing chamber from Bespin. In the center of the room, a large conveyor belt carried rectangular molds under a stream of molten chocolate, followed by a blast of freezing nitrogen gas. "Behold!" Vader announced, his voice echoing off the metallic walls. "The Carbonite Crunch Bar. We take a delicious nougat-filled center inspired by the finest Wookiee recipes and encase it in a perfectly preserved shell of milk chocolate. Each bar even has a tiny, edible smuggler frozen inside for that extra bit of rebellious flavor." He picked one off the line and presented it. Sure enough, a tiny candy figure, strikingly similar to Han Solo, was suspended within the chocolatey block, his face a mask of sugary anguish. The gum-chewing girl, a feisty teenager named Zara, popped a large bubble of blue-colored gum. "That's a bit creepy, isn't it? Freezing people in chocolate?" she asked, unimpressed. Vader turned his helmet towards her, the blank lenses seeming to stare right through her. It is his destiny. And a cautionary tale against excessive jaw-flapping. He then gestured to a large sign on the wall, written in Aurebesh, which translated to, "Chewers will be frozen." This factory has a zero-tolerance policy for incessant chewing. It disturbs the delicate balance of the Force and my concentration. The gum you are currently masticating is a prototype 3-course meal chewing gum. I trust you are enjoying the roast pork appetizer. The main course of Ranker stew is an acquired taste. Zer's eyes widened, and she immediately spit the gum into her hand with a disgusted look on her face. The moisture farmer, a simple man named Owen who rarely spoke, seemed mesmerized by the entire process. He watched as the Ugnaughts worked with intense focus, their porcine faces illuminated by the control panels. He had never seen such technology, let alone technology dedicated to the creation of sweets. It's amazing," he muttered, mostly to himself. "Back on Tatooine, the best we have is blue milk ice cream, and that melts before you can even finish it." Vader overheard his quiet comment. "Indeed, the desert is no place for fine confectionery. Here we control the environment, we control the temperature, we control the very essence of sweetness itself. With this factory we could bring order to the galaxy's dessert menu." His vision was grand, if slightly tyrannical, extending his desire for control from star systems to sweet treats. As they prepared to leave the carbon freezing room, the know-it-all kid, Kip, couldn't help himself.